Welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bowl Boxing. Joined tonight by Mick. Good evening, Mick.
Evening, chaps.
And Brett, good morning or fucking afternoon, whatever it is in that weird part of the world you are.
Thank you, Carl. It's approaching afternoon. It's approaching afternoon.
Good afternoon. So we're going to jump straight into it, guys. A lot of boxing this weekend. First one's a Josh Kelly fight. Fighting the well-known beer from Romania. I'll come to Mick first. Mick, give us a bit of a preview, but is Josh Kelly's career stalling as well?
I think it's stalled, isn't it? It's not stalling. It's stalled. It's hard for me as an avid Newcastle fan to support Josh Kelly. He's obviously from Sunderland, isn't he? But by the by, we've been told for years that he's got so much promise and so much potential, and where have we ever seen it? I mean, if you genuinely look at his resume, the best win on his career is probably Troy Williamson.
Yep.
Got found out from by Avanesian, which, let's be honest, that's not really anything to throw shade at, because Avanesian was he is a good fighter. But Josh Kelly, for me, he just hasn't got what it takes. He'll do a lot of flashiness. He'll dance around a little bit, but let's be honest, there's not really any substance there, is there? He was in that camp with Booth, and when they had Ryan Burnett at the time, and like you say, so much promise. Ryan Burnett obviously become unified champion, but Josh Kelly's just never got there, has he? And I don't think he ever will.
What do you do with him, though, mate? Because obviously, I hear that he ain't putting bums on seats in Newcastle either, because they've not brought into him. I've got a mate who lives in Sunderland, and he's going on to all his fights, and he reckons the numbers are really low. So, if you're Mr. Wasserman, you've got a problem on your hands, haven't you? I mean, he's 31. This is only a 10-rounder, by the way, so he's not setting anything alight, is it?
I mean, you've got to see him do something in devastating fashion, really, haven't you? If he's just going to dance around, pop a left jab out, a left hook, and then go on a little dancing mission again, people are just not interested. Give us some substance, make a statement, and then try and get a decent name. How good could he be? I just don't know. I mean, we had talk of a Liam Smith fight at one point. Liam Smith would have took him apart. Conor Benn, they have had a back and forth.
Even now, Mick?
I genuinely believe he would, yeah. I genuinely believe he would. He's had back and forth with Conor Benn in the last few months. Conor Benn will end him. He'll end his career. And that's bear in mind, that's Conor Benn at 154. He's never fought at 154. Obviously, he's went 160 for the Eubank fight. But, yeah, there's just, for me, he's just about at European level at 154 at best.
Coming to you, Brett. He's flattered to deceive a little bit, Josh Kelly, hasn't he? He's had his chances with promotional outfits, but he hasn't caught the British boxing public imagination, right?
It's an interesting one, though, mate, because when I first got over here, and then I started, as you do, you go searching for people that know a little bit about boxing.
Yeah.
And a couple of the boys were hot on Kelly at the time, you know, just because obviously, like, don't get me wrong, the YouTube thing of the slick, the roll, the head movement, the dancing, the turning around the corner, all that type of stuff. And, you know, obviously we at the time when he was knocking these average fighters out, we were all very excited. But his career has definitely stalled. And look, no shade on Wasserman, but if he was with a Warren or if he was with an Eddie, and I know he was with Eddie, but would they be pushing him into bigger fights, more limelight, not necessarily on Channel 5, and making a case for him? But you know, I can keep this one short and sweet because Mick obviously said it all there. Really, I would suggest that let's see what he looks like in this 10-rounder. Mick's right. He can't jab, turn the corner, and go for a little dance and a little walk. He's got to back him up. He's got to go after him. Not only has he got to show elusiveness, he's got to show a bit of spitefulness. Because if he looks good, if he stops him, then that's when you're right, because he needs, regardless of whether Conor Benn will run through him or whether he's even talking about Eubank, isn't he? Like, the bottom line is that he needs that for his career now, because no one is bothered about watching him. So could he be a man that gets the second chance and he gets a good fight with a good name, looks good, and then these fan bases will get behind him? Carl, you know what it's like. Fan bases are fickle, aren't they? So he has one good win and everybody will love him again.
I'll tell you one good name he could have at 154, he's came up from 147. He's had 3 fights in 6 years. Keith Thurman.
Great shout.
It's going to cost a lot of
Keith
money
Thurman.
over here, though, isn't it? It's going to cost a lot of dough.
Or you take Josh Kelly over there. One or the other, but it's a big name on the record, isn't it? Do you pay the bucks, get a big name?
Why would Thurman jump in with him, though, Mick?
Well, it depends with the
Because
Saudi does.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's a real good shout, Mick, because if you think about it, there are these fights that we'll watch, but considered by Turkey as fillers. That's a cracking filler that's not going to cost him millions and millions. Josh Kelly will take it for next to nothing. Thurman will have a couple of million out of it. I think it's something like that would be unreal for him. I mean, he probably has to go to bed every night hoping that is something that he could get.
Yep. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to the next one, which is in a similar vein, to be honest. So Callum Simpson's out on Saturday at Barnsley, fighting Ivan Zuko, 21-0. Callum Simpson currently sitting at 17-0 for the EBU belt. He's in a poor super middleweight division compared to yesteryears. Let's be honest, a very poor super middleweight division. But do we think that Callum Simpson, also give us a preview of the fight, but does he need to move on from boxer to try and pull a big fight?
I would suggest that, yes. I mean, again, it's the Barnsley fan base with him, isn't it? Is it the Barnsley fan base?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Barnsley fan base, because all these football crowds, they're just looking for somebody to get behind. So if his name is heavily promoted and pushed into big fights, you would suggest that right now, I know, no shade on another promotion company, but he would be better suited with somebody that's going to offer him a few more opportunities. I would also go down the route of saying that they currently boxer has to protect their stock, don't they? And this is an undefeated fighter with a fan base behind him, and they're going to be nervous about putting him in with somebody that might stop that train. So ultimately, maybe that's what's holding him back, is that they'll push him enough, European, they'll push him enough, but are they gonna search and look for a fight of a high magnitude, when if that's another one that goes off their books, all of a sudden now you're looking around going, who's their poster?
They've got a problem though, Brett, haven't they? Because we're spoilt now as fight fans on the back of the Riyadh cards, etc. So we only accept now the best fight and the best. Yes, we allowed a bit of a build up to a fight, but eventually they've got to jump in with someone and note, right?
Yeah, I mean, because there's only going to. It's a great point, mate. It's only going to be so much of people going, all right, let's build them. You know, ultimately now, and that's probably going to, I think we've spoke about it on the show before, that's probably going to mess the younger ones coming through up, because everyone's going to want to run them up quick to get to the Saudi bag. And the build-up fights, people are going to say, well, why is he in with him? It's fight 7. Get him in with such and such. Look at what we're talking about Moses now.
Yep.
We're saying Moses, take Moses back 15 years. We want to see him in with really anybody until 23, 24 fights. But anyway, going back to this point, I think it's a really good, the title of this is a really good point, more than the actual fight. I expect Simpson to do what he does, and I expect him to win the fight in comfortable fashion. But, where does he go after this? And could he be promoted more?
Yeah. And good evening. Thanks for joining.
Sorry, I'm a bit late, lads.
No worries. So as you can see from the title, we're talking about Callum Simpson's fight coming up in Barnsley on Saturday. And we're asking the question. Obviously, we want to preview how I think he gets on. Yeah. We all think we've got the same opinion there. But does he need to leave boxer to get a big fight as well?
Well, I saw an interview the other day. as Brett's quite rightly said, is a Barnsley lad, is a Barnsley fan. My old gaffer's a Barnsley fan, and Callum's held in really high regard in the area. The wall of noise, lads, at the last fight, when they only had one stand open, was unbelievable. I'd compare it to anything. I compare it to Lee Wood.
Probably the loudest.
We all saw that.
The loudest we've heard, right? And they're probably the loudest.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, the noise.
Wow.
But it's what you expect when you have a football following, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get it with Warrington, you get it with Lee Wood. And like I say, the Barnsley crowd did him proud that night. And I expect the same thing Saturday night. As I was just about to say, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but I saw an interview with him recently, and he's not happy that Hamza Shiraz has gone above him in the rankings, because obviously Hamza Shiraz moved up from middleweight now. He's now fighting super middle. He's gone straight in at number 1 in the UK, which has pushed Simpson down to number 2, and he's not happy about that. For me, that's the fight that has to happen next, and that's a massive fight. Because the winner, I think Hamza Shiraz has sat at number 5 in most rankings in the world. Callum Simpson's down at something like 10, or because his profile, like you've quite rightly said, his profile's not quite there yet,
No.
and it deserves to be, because he's quality. He's quality, and that Shiraz fight takes him to another level. That takes him to world level. I kind of agree with what Carl's saying, and I think with what you've said as well, Brett, that Boxer might be a bit scared to make that fight happen. Callum Simpson won't be scared to make the fight happen. He'd take it tomorrow. He's proved he'll go in with anyone at any notice. The only thing that saves that fight is Saudi.
Yeah, because obviously he's an ambassador, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that fight probably happens in Saudi, and Boxer then will get a big packet, and they'll be quite happy with that. That fight has to happen after this, mate. It has to. And then both of them, the winner then moves on to world honours. Canelo's not going to be there forever. So eventually, them belts are going to start getting split, and our two boys are right up there with the best in the world. Trust me. And it's a great fight. I'm not sure how I'd even call it right now. Hamza Shiraz looked unbelievable at middleweight. Is he going to be the same force at super middle? We'll soon
find out, won't we? That's a cracking fight, so we'll soon find out. So I'll bring Mick in. So Mick, same question to you, fella. Obviously, the outcome we think is going to be a simple outcome for Simpson this weekend. But do you think he needs to leave Boxer as well?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a young aspiring boxer, I don't see why I would want to sign with Ben Shalom and Boxer, if I'm honest, apart from that Sky Sports pull. It's true that Ben Shalom wants to protect his fighters. He doesn't want to make these fights. I mean, look at the Azim and Dalton Smith fight. He couldn't run far enough. It was the same with Fraser Clark and Fabio. He didn't want to make it at first. He made a bit of a laughing stock of Fraser. Yep. Then there was the countless things that he does in the media that just makes them look like complete idiots at times. I mean, the interviews where Eddie's putting manners on him, the Ben Whittaker contract situation. It's just, for me, Boxer are out of the depth. They were given the golden ticket at the time with that Sky deal. They've not really done what they needed to do.
And I'll be honest
Callum
with you.
Smith, sorry,
Mick. I'll be honest with you. There, he got a lot of help from Carl Greaves in them early days. Carl's very experienced. He did a lot of matchmaking for him. He helped him with his promotion. Without Carl at his side in them early days, which you don't get thanked for, by the way.
Helped him with licensing.
Yeah, he helped him with a lot of stuff. That got Ben Shalom on a level playing field. And since Carl's not been there, it's like he don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's out of his depth for me. No, it's all right. He's out of his depth for me. But Callum Simpson, for me, great fighter, great support. He looks good. He talks well. Very, very likable kid. Do I think it'll be a comfortable win? I don't. I think he's going to need them fans to pull him through at points in the fight. But I think he will do it. I think he'll get there on a decision. But I don't think it's going to be smooth sailing for him. It's definitely going to be the toughest test of his career so far, I think.
Yeah,
I don't see him getting beat.
I don't think Callum Simpson is world level, if I'm being brutally honest.
I don't think he's world level yet. But then we're not putting him in at world level yet, are we? I agree with Andy that the Shiraz fight's a good fight if they both come through. It wouldn't surprise me if you get the likes of Eddie trying to chuck him in with someone like a Diego Pacheco, just to pull one over on Boxer yet again. You just never know.
Yep. Okay. Next topic. I'm looking forward to this one. Fabio Wardley fights at the weekend against Justis Huni. People are badging it again as a white-collar fighter against an amateur star. I'm not sure that's fair anymore. I've been Wardley's worst critic over the years, but he keeps proving me wrong. I'll come to Andy first on this one. Andy, give us your breakdown. Intriguing fight, right?
Yeah, we need to forget this white-collar bollocks.
Yeah. Agreed.
The guy's proving himself against the best in the UK at British level, and now he's moving on to the next level up.
And is he enjoying that tag though? Is he quite liking it, like the rags to riches? Is he? Because they seem to be promoting that term more now than ever.
I think he likes. I think he likes the fact that it gives him an edge. And he is a very raw fighter. He's always going to be a very raw fighter, but he's got raw power as well. This is the first time, in my opinion, he's coming up against a fighter with boxing pedigree. Because you can't. Even though Fraser Clark did it all in the amateurs, it's not the same. It's not the Fraser got dragged into a war in both of them fights because he was trying to prove something. I'm not sure Justin Huni will do the same thing. I think he'll box because he thinks that's how he's going to win the fight. This, in my opinion, lads, is a much tougher fight than Big Baby Miller was going to be.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
Big Baby Miller would have been stood in front of Fabio Wardley, and Wardley would have just been teeing off on him. And he would have got an early stoppage, in my opinion, as well, because he punches really hard. I know Big Baby Miller can take a bit, but that's because he's juiced into it. This is a very intriguing fight, lads. It really is. I see Fabio's X Factor punch power coming through though. In the end, I expect him to stop Huni in this fight, but I think it'll be late on. I think he'll have a lot of questions to answer as well, which he needs at this point in his career. But I'm going Fabio Wardley stoppage late on. I'll go round 10. Okay,
Mick.
I've said it since the fight was made. I'm backing Fabio Wardley. This whole he's a white collar boxer. At some point, we've got to start ignoring that and judging him on what he's doing as a pro and merit that. I mean, he's been in there with so far some of the best that we've got in this country at that level, and he's come through. Bar one opponent, he's stopped every opponent that he's been with, including Fraser, who you could say is a decorated amateur. Not as decorated as Huni, granted, but again, we don't know how good Huni really is. But for me, I just think the way it's set up, the hometown fight, I can't see how he gets beat. Huni's not that massive a knockout puncher, to be fair, compared to the resume of Fabio. I think Andy's right in the sense of at some point Fabio's going to let his hands go, he's going to get to him, and he's going to knock him down. He's going to put him over. But I think we'll get it through to the point, I really do. I think Huni's going to be good enough just to ride the storm and get to points.
Okay. Brett, same question.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very interesting fight. I'm same as Mick. I've given Fabio a lot of stick, probably because of that tag a lot of the time. But he's got some desire and some grit, and obviously he finds a way. You know, you talk about levels, but he's beat what's been in front of him. He had a tough night against Frazier. When you talk about pedigrees, Olympic pedigrees, you know, all that type of stuff. Frazier was unbelievable in the first fight, and I think he probably nicked it by a round or two. But anyway, with this version of Fabio, I think it's going to be a top fight, and I think Fabio's going to go over at some point. I think he's going to go over, not hurt, not massively hurt, but he's going to walk onto something because he's a bit lively trying to get him out of there, and it might be a little check hook that wakes him up a little bit, but he's going to go down. And I don't know why, no basis on, you know, every part of me saying that the only way Fabio can win is a knockout. But I think that with the home advantage, talking about football crowds again, with the home advantage, with a bit of pressure fighting, I think he'll take him to the scorecards and win it on the scorecards.
So two you think he's going to points. I'm with Andy. Yeah. I think he's going to be around 9 TKO. I think he'll put it on him and tire him out and then finish him.
It's worth saying though, mate, that, and Eddie's a salesman. We know that, right? And Eddie, in any interview, Eddie can have you thinking whatever he wants you to have you thinking.
Yeah,
because he's that good. But I don't know. I've seen a couple of interviews with him. He really, really fancies this fight for him. He really fancies it, and it's like it's almost like he's cocky with it. Like they don't know what they've got themselves into here.
Yeah,
he's drew parallels with the AJ Baby Miller pull-out situation, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And how that fight ended up panning out.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So, interesting. Okay, next one. This is a mixed request. Don't say I don't ever do it for you, Mick. Haney versus Lopez set for August. It's only right that I come to Mick on this one first. So, Mick, give us your breakdown this fight and who your prediction is for who wins this one.
You know what it is? It's got the recipe to be an absolute stinker. It shouldn't be because we've got two world-class guys. But especially when you look at those last two performances on that Times Square card, they were both woeful. I mean, you've got Devin, who didn't want to engage, clearly got demons from the Garcia fight. And then you've got Teo, who is popping a jab out and then doing an alley shuffle and running away. And it's just like, come on, guys. I mean, for me, I'd back Lopez to win, but even then, the career of Teo Lopez is so frustrating. He's got so much potential. And when you look at what he's done throughout his career, comes through, wins the title off Commie, goes straight in against Lomachenko. First defense, he goes to unify against Lomachenko, which, it was bold. But then, after he beats Lomachenko, falls off a cliff. We get the Kambosos performance, comes back, lackluster performance again. And then when you think Josh Taylor's got him at the right time here, he puts on an absolutely unbelievable performance against Josh Taylor. And then yet again, it's back to absolute dross. And to be fair with Haney, it can be very much the same. I mean, yeah, we had that tag of email champion because his first WBC title was emailed to him. He didn't win it in the ring. It wasn't his fault, but by the by. Obviously, Kambosos was never at that level for me. He just caught Teo on the right night. So we had the back-to-back wins. And then since that Garcia loss for me, Devin Haney's just so one-minded defensive, so afraid of getting tagged back. He just doesn't want to engage. I think in the fight, Teo will push the pace. I think when we do get a big name or a big fight, Teo does show up. He's shown that throughout his career. And when I'm talking about them poor performances, it's always against fighters that you just expect him to win. It's like he's not motivated, so he doesn't turn up. But I think he will turn up in August. And I think he's got the power there. He's definitely got the power advantage of these two. I think he'll catch Devin at some point. we've seen Devin caught not only by Ryan, but we also seen him caught and rocked badly by Linares. So, yeah, I think we'll see a stoppage from Teo Lopez.
Okay, I'll pick some comments in the side after Brett. So, Brett, do you want to give us your breakdown and prediction?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. These, and he's really right there, Mick. These top class fighters, world class fighters, they're starting to piss me off a little bit, and they're starting to get to me because I get excited, and we're not being delivered on what we want to be delivered on.
Are we spoiled now, though, Brett? Are we spoiled?
Completely, mate. And that's obviously part of me wanting what I want as a fan that loves the sport. But you know, every part of me says that this will be a boring fight. It says that the build up to it will be way better than what we actually get on the night, because neither one's going to want to lose. I think you're right, Mick. I think a young fighter that was having it all his own way, living off that beautiful double jab that he had, Haney, and staying out of contact and just winning fights easy on the back foot, has now been properly clipped by Ryan, and does not fancy the thought of that again. Now, the thing about Lopez, he can clip. He can whip. Yeah. He can whip when he fancies it. He can whip one round to that body as well, like just that dip inside, whip into the body. And so it could be very interesting if he lets his hands go. Look, am I intrigued? Of course I am. It's two massive names of the sport. It'll, like I say, it'll be a good build up. But I just can't think we get nothing else than another bore fest with the odd moment in it, like with the Garcia and Rowley fight. That was a terrible fight again. But we've had that little overhand clip on the top of his head, and he's gone down, and we've gone, oh, I think it'll be something very similar to that. I hope I'm proved wrong as well, Carl. I'm just giving up hope on these. I don't want to brand it the American fighters, and I don't want to go down that route. I'm just talking about these top level stars that have every ability to bring eyes to the sport. And then when it gets there, you talk about the UFC model. Mick knows all about that. He's well into that. He's very up to date on that type of stuff. When the big stars meet there, Mick, it's very, very rare that it disappoints. It happens, doesn't it? And that's why the fan base grows. Whereas here, our two, we're looking forward to this Canelo and Crawford fight. That could be a bore fest, by the way. That could be a bore fest. But anyway, back to the point in hand, mate. Of course, I'm going to watch it, but I just can't see it being anything other than just a jabbing, grabbing, turning, a little bit of showboating, dancing on the back foot. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Okay, last but not least, Andy, give us your views.
Both of the lads have hit the nail on the head.
Well, Akan has put in the comment that it's off. Haney versus Lopez is off.
He's right. It's been reported that it's off.
Right, not official yet, though.
It could all be part of the Lopez trying to get. So yeah, Hawkan's right. It's been reported. It's circling the internet today that it's off. But I still think we should address it because it will happen anyway. Whether it happens in August, it's still a good topic for us to talk about.
Like you say, it could be a power play to get a few more dollars as well. It wouldn't be the first time, would it?
The thing is with these young fighters, it's like Brett was saying, we've got Teo, we've got Devin, Shakur, Tank. They all want to be Floyd Mayweather in the sense of the earning potential and the way that they want to run through opponents. But I like that saying. Before he was Money Mayweather, he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah. And he would stand on it when he needed to, and he would stop opponents. And that's the bit that these guys just, apart from Tank, who obviously went off the rails a little bit recently, but them other guys now, it's as if we want the ridiculous paydays for lackluster performances. That's what we deserve. You don't deserve that.
No, I don't think Turkey's willing to pay for that either, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, I agree. And it bit him in the butt, mate. The boys are bang on, Cole. The boys are bang on. These American fighters, they talk a great game, but they do not deliver. Simple.
I think Turkey's learning into slowly but surely regarding boxing and paying over the top for mediocre fights, etc. So let's see what happens. Okay, Andy had a little tweet about this earlier today regarding Dillian White pulling out of the Ipswich card on Saturday because we think he's got a big fight in August. Andy suggested it might be AJ. I don't think the maths add up regarding the operation he's had. Strong rumours it's Lawrence Okola. So I'll come to you first, Andy. If it is Lawrence, what do you think of this fight?
It's an absolute ballfest, mate. I'm not interested in the slightest. I'm not interested in anything Lawrence Okoli's got anything to do with, mate. He's dreadful.
Do you think
Dillian White is way past his best? It's going to be an absolute dreadful fight, mate. Not interested. Dreadful.
Who wins?
I don't care.
On that note, then, maybe, well, for 1 minute, I thought I was on a boxing show, but then moving on to Brett. So, Brett, give us your breakdown, and if you feel kind enough, give us a prediction.
I'm not bothered. No, mate, I'll have a play for you because, yeah, of course. Again, with this one, I'll watch every clip on YouTube leading up to it because it'll be gold.
It's fake beef, though, isn't it, Brett? It's fake beef.
Yeah, but it is.
That's
but sometimes that's true. But sometimes Dillian White can
comedy gold
go in there with fake beef, but then his head goes.
Yeah.
And he, in the moment of it, his head just goes. But anyway, in terms of the fight, yeah, it's a terrible fight. Especially if Okolie does what Okolie does, because White's tailor made for him, coming forward, pressuring him, trying to wing shots, and he can just jab, grab, lean, tie up, and it'll frustrate the life out of Dillian White, and it'll end up being one of those matches where Dillian's swinging for the hills and missing, his timing's off. However, if Dillian catches him, what is Okolie's chin like? And so I don't know. Maybe if it does get made, it'd be more intrigue. I'm not going to ruin your, but there's a comment that coming. You might want to say that's a credible source. That's class.
So Jack, who's a matchmaker, suggests a reliable source is saying it's Wilder. So before we go to me, Andy, is that a fight that you want to bless us with a prediction?
I'll play the game.
I'm not sure. Any a better fight than Mooney, is it?
Not really, because again, Wilder's just there for a payday now. Dillian White's just there for a payday now.
Wilder
I think they've both probably deteriorated the same amount, which maybe makes a good fight for the time it lasts. We've clearly seen that Wilder doesn't have a chin now, so. If White lands, Wilder's going to sleep. If Wilder lands, White's going to sleep. That's the breakdown of the fight, mate.
I'm having this one, Carl. Before you go to Mick with the two fights. Yeah, sorry, Mick. I'm having this one. I'm definitely having it because, we talk about the two top boys, Haney and Lopez fighting.
Yep.
But what we saw a few weeks back with two British level, maybe a bit better, Conor Benn and Eubank, and having a right fight. Well, if these two are deteriorating together, we might just get a right fight, and it might be. It might not be for the purists, but it might be something that we see a couple of knockdowns and somebody going to sleep. So
it's definitely who lands first, isn't it?
Definitely. For me, for that reason, you're on the edge of your seat. You're on the edge of your seat with them two because both potentially chins have gone. Obviously, Wilder's chin has definitely gone, but and has Wilder still got that right hand? And
so who wins then, Brett? Because Andy gave me a politician answer. Who wins?
Dillian White.
Who wins, Andy?
Dillian White.
Come on then, mate. Let's bring you in. So we'll cover the Okolie one first, and then we'll cover Wilder.
I mean, bloody hell. Okolie, jab, grab, hold. I mean, I feel sorry for the referee in that fight, to be honest, because you're going to get a frustrated Dillian White who's winging away every time the ref shouts break. And it's just going to be rinse and repeat all night. Lawrence Okolie is one of the worst fighters that's ever come from these shores in the sense of being boring, and not having anything about him. For me, I'm not bothered about it at all. I wouldn't watch it if it was in my back garden.
Don't lie.
Dylan, what? Dylan, what?
In the next round that you draw your curtains, another lie.
Deontay Wilder, it's impossible for him to knock somebody out with the right hand when the right hand's been missing for the last 2 years. Unless he finds that, he'll get put to sleep again. So yeah, for me, it's just nothing fights that are being made more for the sake of it, because we didn't get them made when both guys were really firing on all cylinders. We've missed the boat. It's like making AJ Wilder now. Why? What's the point? We missed it. It should have happened. It didn't. Let it go.
Yeah.
Listen, lads, we've talked about Wilder in very high regard over the years, and we've also talked about him in very low regard. The guy can't box. Simple. He can't box, but he had one of the biggest one-punch knockouts in boxing history.
Yeah. He had one trick, and what a trick it was.
Maybe the top five. Maybe the top five of history. One-punch knockout. He had the devastating right hand, but he hasn't got that anymore.
It's gone.
Like Mick's already said, it's gone because he's scared to throw it, because he's scared of what's coming back.
And I also think the Tyson Fury trilogy took a lot out of him, just like it took a lot out of Tyson Fury. I think they both left some of themselves in the ring during that trilogy. I think
in that third fight, Carl, it's fair to say that that's the best Wilder we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, it showed a lot of art, didn't it?
He did.
He did.
He showed me some of that night. And obviously, you'll never forget him losing every round in the second fight against Ortiz and finding that right hand.
Yeah.
That was something absolutely.
Yeah.
But he just can't pull the trigger, Brett, can he? For some reason now, he just cannot pull that trigger.
Well, if he's fighting this guy on the 27th, which that all still goes through, unless there's a pull out here, because this fight is genuine. So we'll keep looking to see if he pulls out of that. If he fights this guy that's there for him to land the right hand, the only reason that fight's happening is for him to land the right hand, to see if he can still let it. Because if he lands it on somebody of not of any level and they don't go anywhere, that's him done. If he finally lands it, has the confidence to pull the trigger, doesn't matter if the guy's not a great fighter. If he lands it and he goes out, he'll go on again.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll get fed the Wilder 2.0 bullshit, like we got the AJ 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and nothing ever changes. So, yeah, let's enjoy that ride with Wilder, right?
Is that dig at me?
Brett's fuming.
That dig at me?
Dig at nobody. It's factual. Anyway, moving on. So let's do the quick fire. Let's do the quick fire questions. So Andy, this is where we throw a question at you. No thinking about it. Just give us a gut reaction, Andy. A gut reaction. And what I do, I go around the three asking you a series of questions. Are you ready, Andy? Because you're going first.
Of course I am.
Most underrated fighter ever.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Don't be giving me that sitting back and thinking. You must.
Wow.
That's a big question, mate, isn't it?
Oh, let me move on. Let him think. He ain't got the rules, has he, Brett? Next one, Brett. Best UK ref currently.
I don't know. They're all terrible. Foster.
Yeah, I like
because he saved our man Carl Fry.
Mick, in terms of fighters' victories, who would have the best 2025 Matchroom or Queensborough?
Queensbury.
And we got an answer from that one yet? Underrated fighter ever?
No.
That could be a show. That could be a show, by the way.
It could
It
be.
needs to be a show. That's not a quick.
Yeah, you stitched them up there with a quick fire on that call.
Let me try an easy one. And will Boxer have any new world champions by the end of 2026?
If Callum Simpson stays with them, yeah.
It's just a yes or no, Andy, I'm afraid.
Yes, Callum Simpson.
Okay, thank you. Coming on to Brett. I think I might have asked this last time, Brett, but here we go. Does Wood fight Warrington?
You didn't ask me that. Yes, I thought he was done, mate. I know it's quick fire, but I thought he was done. Wood.
Conversation, isn't there?
Hey, listen, I thought it was done, but I've seen something being sent back and forth here. That could be my next trip, boys.
Quick fire round. I'll remind you, Brett. Quick fire. Okay, Mick. Will Eddie Hearn still be in boxing in 10 years' time?
No.
And Dubois versus Usyk, who wins?
Dubois.
Brett.
Oh.
Which weight class has the deepest talent in the UK?
Well, heavyweight, surely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Never right or wrong question, young man, but we'll move on. Mick, who will be the breakout star of 2026 in the UK?
Oh. You're going to have to give me a minute, Carl.
Okay, I'll move to Ander.
Come back.
Ander, will Turkey Al Sheikh still be in boxing in 10 years' time?
No.
Brett, biggest hype job in boxing currently?
Haney.
Ooh, that.
Oh.
Ooh, Mick, you ready for that one?
Breakout, I think Callum Simpson, because I think he will become a world champion in 26, but he won't be with Boxer.
Okay, and your next one, will Moses Atama win a world title before the end of 2026?
Yes, because Usyk won't be around.
And who wins if Benavidez fights Smith?
Smith.
Brett, best boxing venue in the UK?
Of course, Nottingham Arena. Of course, boys.
And last one, Mick, best walking music for a fighter?
Oh, that's a great question.
Active or not?
Doesn't matter. Look, don't read between the lines, Mick. Don't
David here.
Okay. That's it for the quick fire round. I do enjoy that. I'll be honest, it gets the old cogs turning, doesn't it? So, but yeah, you're right regarding that topic for a show. Brett, good shout on that one. Okay, Mick, thank you very much for joining the show. Much appreciated. Go on, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
1 minute. I just want to talk about Sean Bruce, if that's all right.
Okay, yeah. Go on then.
So, friend of the show, current Midlands area super flyweight champion Sean Bruce from Leicestershire. He's going into the Lions Den in East Kilbride to face their local boy for the vacant Commonwealth Super Fly title on Saturday. This one's going completely under the radar, lads, because it's not on one of the big shows. But believe me, this is going to be a great fight. It's been screened on BBC Two Scotland. That's how much they rate this kid. It's been screened on BBC Two Scotland, and I think it's been screened on BBC iPlayer for the rest of the UK. Sean Bruce is a great lad. He's got a bit of a story. He's had a nightmare of a year. He went over to Gibraltar. He was supposed to be fighting for the vacant Commonwealth title a few months back in Gibraltar, and his opponent pulled out. Would you believe 20 minutes before the ring walk?
Ooh.
Said he fell over in the changing room and twisted his ankle. Take of that what you will. But this is one to watch, lads. If you, in amongst watching these other fights this weekend, if you get a chance to stream this fight, watch it. It's going to be a great fight. Sean Bruce is a great kid. Carl will back me up on this. We've had him on the show a few times now. Always gives us his time.
As well. Absolute undiscovered talent in my eyes.
100%. 100%. I just wanted to put that out there for anyone that's interested in watching a proper British fight, as I call them. Small all, you're going to get quality in this fight, lads. Sean Bruce is 6-1. Matt McHale, who is fighting, is 7-1. Like I say, this is for the vacant Commonwealth Super Flyweight title. Good luck, Sean Bruce.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mick, thanks for joining, fella. Brett,
Thanks, guys.
in the middle of your day, much appreciated. And thanks for joining, fellow, and giving your input. This has been Last World Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel and LW Lifting. We'll see you on the next live. Thank you.